Singapore or Singaporean dedicated server with cPanel control panel, by TheServerHost. Singapore, a port and a nation-state on the sea, a modern state with a unique identity and a diverse cultural background. Singapore, officially the Republic of Singapore, is an independent state city in maritime Southeast Asia. The world's busiest port in terms of total sea cargo flow and container exports, Singapore has become an economic, social, and political success since independence. Dedicated hosting is one among the most popular forms of internet hosting. TheServerHost Singapore dedicated server, also called Managed Web Hosting Service, dedicated server hosting, or managed hosting service is a kind of internet hosting where the client leases a whole server right from the internet host. The client pays an annual or monthly fee to the internet host and he or she gets all the features that the server has to offer. Dedicated servers are also known as managed servers. When you sign up for a dedicated server, there are certain things that you need to look for in order to find a good provider. The first thing that you need to check is whether the internet provider is offering you a control panel. In case of a highly complex managed hosting service plan, the provider may have its own control panel. You should also see whether the control panel is compatible with your system and whether the provider provides any additional add-ons or tools to support your website. Singapore dedicated servers do not come cheap. They are usually used by large businesses because they have the ability to handle large amounts of traffic. For small businesses, it is difficult to afford dedicated servers. Therefore, before signing up for a managed dedicated hosting service or a dedicated server, make sure that the monthly fee is worth it. Another factor that determines the cost of a dedicated server is the amount of bandwidth that is available on the line. Most dedicated servers can accommodate high flow of visitors without any significant reduction in their bandwidth speed. Dedicated servers have more bandwidth than shared servers. It is important to check the amount of bandwidth that is actually provided by the provider before choosing to host your website on one of these servers. If your website receives heavy traffic, then it is best to choose TheServerHost Singapore dedicated servers with a higher bandwidth limit. The next factor that determines the price of a dedicated server is the amount of disk space that is provided on the dedicated server. As a result, dedicated servers usually provide more disk space than a shared server. Also, if you plan to upload any high-quality files on your dedicated server, you may need to upgrade your dedicated server plan to an enhanced end level. The reliability of a dedicated server greatly depends on the hosting provider that you opt for. Dedicated server hosting services are more reliable as they are housed on their own servers. Therefore, if there is a problem with the dedicated server such as downtime or data transfer rate issues, the hosting provider will take responsibility for the resolution of these issues. Finally, there are many factors that go into calculating the price of a dedicated server, but the most important is the bandwidth allowed on the dedicated server. Dedicated servers generally provide more bandwidth than shared servers, but as a result these services cost more to provide. TheServerHost Singapore dedicated server also offers the ability to manage your own resources, can tailor this setting to meet your exact requirements. TheServerHost dedicated server with cPanel control panel. cPanel is an online control panel solution developed by cPanel, LLC. It provides automated web hosting control panels for users that require simplified the complex process of website hosting. It allows user access from a graphical user interface with a minimal configuration. It can be used to create, modify and backup bandwidth, mail server, database, images and files. In addition, it offers comprehensive email service and unlimited bandwidth and disk space. Users may manage domains and subdomains through cPanel. To access the control panel, a user logs into a secure web host using cPanel login. Using the username and the domain name, they can perform basic operations such as creating a blog, changing the website settings, installing scripts, upgrading the software and setting the server configuration. They may also manage their email accounts and subdomains through the cPanel web interface. The most common modules include the following: the Web Disk Analyzer, the Backup Wizard, the FTP Access Editor and the Website Builder. The Web Disk Analyzer helps the administrator to see the bandwidth usage of their website. The Backup Wizard lets the user create backup files using certain methods, while the FTP Access Editor lets the administrator to upload the files directly from their FTP access. Finally, the Website Builder allows the administrator to build a basic website. Data center at and IP based at Singapore. For more info visit https://theserverhost.com/dedicated/Singapore or contact@theserverhost.com.